The morning sun bathed the city park in a warm golden hue as Ethan Blake, a powerful CEO known for his cold demeanor and sharp suits, watched his little daughter, Lily, play near the swings. After losing his wife, Amelia, 2 years ago during childbirth, Ethan's world had turned gray. Work became his escape, and his heart built walls no one could cross. But Lily, with her mother's eyes and innocent smile, was the only spark that reminded him love once lived in his heart. That day, Ethan was on an important call, distracted by business, when Lily's laughter suddenly pulled his attention. She was talking to a woman sitting on a bench, a woman in a faded dress, her hair tied back loosely, her shoes worn out. The woman looked fragile yet kind, with eyes that carried stories of pain and compassion. Ethan frowned, concerned. He didn't like strangers near his daughter. He ended his call and walked toward them, his protective instincts rising. But as he got closer, he noticed something strange. Lily was completely at ease, giggling and showing her stuffed bunny to the woman. The poor woman smiled softly, tears glimmering in her eyes as she whispered, "You look just like your mother." Ethan froze in place. His heart skipped a beat. How could she know that? The woman looked up as if sensing his presence. For a moment, silence stretched between them, filled with an odd familiarity. "Sir, you must be Mr. Blake," she said softly, standing up nervously. Ethan's sharp gaze studied her face. There was something hauntingly familiar about her eyes. "Do I know you?" he asked cautiously. The woman took a trembling breath before saying words that made his world spin. "I used to be your wife's nurse, the day she gave birth to your daughter." Ethan's throat tightened. Memories flooded back, the hospital lights, the chaos, the doctor's rushed voices, and the final moment when he lost Amelia forever. He remembered little of that day except the overwhelming grief. You were there," he whispered. The woman nodded, her eyes moist. I was the one holding her hand when she asked me to take care of Lily if anything happened to her." Ethan's chest ached as her words pierced through his armor. He had never known about that final message. "Why didn't you come forward?" he asked, his voice breaking slightly. The woman looked down. "I tried, sir. But after that night, I was dismissed from the hospital for questioning the procedures. I had warned them that something was wrong with the equipment in the delivery room, but no one listened. When your wife passed, I was blamed for negligence. I lost my job, my license, everything. Since then, I've been working wherever I could, cleaning, caring for the elderly, just trying to survive." Ethan's eyes softened. The woman's voice trembled as she continued, "But I never forgot her. Your wife was kind, humble, and full of life. She told me you loved her deeply, even though you were busy. She wanted Lily to know that her father was a good man." Ethan's heart twisted with guilt. He had spent so long avoiding the pain that he never realized what his wife's final moments had been like, or that someone else had carried that burden with her. He looked at the woman, tired, poor, and yet filled with a quiet dignity. "You've been through all this because of that night?" he asked. She nodded silently. Lily tugged at Ethan's sleeve, holding out the stuffed bunny. "Daddy," she fixed Mr. Bunny's ear. "She's really nice." Ethan looked at the toy, its torn ear neatly stitched with gentle care, and then at the woman again. She smiled faintly, brushing Lily's hair lovingly. "Your mother would be proud of her," she said softly. A lump formed in Ethan's throat. For the first time in years, tears welled in his eyes. "What's your name?" he asked. "Grace," she replied quietly. Ethan took a deep breath and said, "Grace, you've done more for my family than I ever knew. You gave my daughter kindness when I couldn't even give her attention." Grace shook her head. "You're a good man, Mr. Blake. Just lost in grief." Ethan hesitated, then said, "No. I've been lost in pride." He looked around the park, then back at Grace. "You deserve better. You were punished for doing the right thing. Let me help you." Grace's eyes widened. "Oh no, sir, I didn't mean to ask," Ethan interrupted gently. "You didn't. But I owe you." He pulled out his phone and called his assistant right there. "Find out everything about a nurse named Grace Walters. I want her record cleared and her license reinstated. Also, get her a position in our company's medical charity department. Effective immediately." Grace stood frozen, her hands trembling. "Mr. Blake." I don't know what to say. Ethan smiled faintly for the first time in years. Just say yes. For Amelia. Grace covered her mouth, tears falling freely. Lily hugged her leg, saying, "Don't cry. Mommy's in heaven, and she's happy now." At that moment, something broke inside Ethan. The years of loneliness, regret, and silence melted into warmth. The sunlight filtered through the trees, wrapping them in a soft glow. Grace looked up and whispered, "She'd be proud of you, sir." Ethan knelt beside Lily, holding her tiny hand. Maybe she already is. As they watched Grace walk away, Ethan felt something he hadn't in a long time: peace. He picked Lily up and whispered, "Let's go home, sweetheart. Daddy has a story to tell you about your mom."